BLG.
What's good?
Up?
What's good?
Table reviews.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome y'all to another edition of Hip Hop Roundtable Reviews. I got my homie Ansem from BLG, aka Bootleg Gang. Tonight, we got a special show where I actually wasn't gonna talk about this. The Cash Money and No Limit restart of Versus in Vegas, but it got so much traction online, Ansem, and I know you saw the Versus. I actually did not see it, but I saw a lot of the clips and the takes from this. It's a real juicy topic. A lot of things to talk about. So we got a lot to unpack from that. We're gonna start with a rundown of the overall Versus. And then we're going to talk about the Lil Wayne factor in this, like where if y'all didn't know, Lil Wayne did not show. They did play some of his songs, but he did not show. But we got a lot to talk about that and take a deep dive into the Lil Wayne angle. But first, Cash Money versus No Limit, the recap. Your thoughts, Ansem. What do you think?
Let's just go through the rounds real quick.
And then okay. Let me pull up. Hold on a minute. Let me share the screen and let's pull it up.
The same time while you're loading that up, I'll say round one. Round one is 400 Degrees by Juvenile versus No Limit Soldiers by TR and Mia X. To me, the only way you can give this to 400 Degrees is if you don't like Silk the Shocker.
Yeah.
Outside of that, that's like a classic. Probably KLC's best beat. For those who don't know, KLC was one of the main producers from Beats by the Pound.
Beats from the Pound, that's right.
Going against 400 Degrees, I thought he was going to start with Ha because, Manny Fresh, Juvenile, but instead they played the album cut because the album is a classic. So 400 Degrees versus No Limit Soldiers. I picked No Limit Soldiers. I can see if someone can pick 400 Degrees, though.
Okay. Yeah, now remember, I just got into Juvenile like that. You educated me about 400 Degrees and Juvenile and that song. Now, that song on second listen is fire. 400 Degrees is fire. But I am more familiar with No Limit Soldiers. I would have to go with you on that. Now, I didn't hear the actual performance of it, but you saw it. And from what I have heard and what I've seen from the performances, it seems like No Limit seemed to be a lot sharper with their performance style.
Pretty much when they played 400 Degrees, Juvenile came out.
Okay.
There's a narrative that Juvenile could be the Jadakiss of this battle. So Juvenile came out, did 400 Degrees. Manny Fresh actually did the auto-tune vocals for the hook and added a little something extra. But all of a sudden, you just saw a whole group of people come out. And this is why I said No Limit versus Cash Money is not about performance. They just about getting the crowd crunk. Because that's exactly what No Limit did. Forget how trash Silk the Shocker is and the beat stop in the middle of the beat because he did something original. That's why I fuck with him to a certain extent.
Well,
Mia X actually performed her ass out in this battle.
That's what I've heard. I wanted to ask you about that. We'll get to Mia X in a little bit, but Versus to me is always about the crowd energy and the performance energy. That's important. I think those are more important just as much as the song selection and the song placement as to what you put versus the other one. But I think, from what I saw from both of the performances, Juvie brought it, but it's almost like the other guys. I was like, what's going on here? They were okay, but and me, just to let you know, I'm biased. I do not like Manny Fresh a little bit, but I try to reason with it. You know what I mean? But yeah, I gotta admit, man, like from what I saw, No Limit really brought it.
Round two. Mm-hmm. Now, you got to be more of a down south music fan for this round. Everybody knows Still Fly by Big Timers. Mm-hmm. But you can make an argument that Baby's one of the worst rappers also. Even though this might be one of the best verses. That actually went against a song I didn't expect them to play. Master P featuring UGK, Break 'Em Off Something. If you know that
I
song,
remember that song.
you would pick that song.
I remember that song. Yeah.
Pick that.
How was the crowd acting? You think the crowd, because Still Fly is more popular.
I mean, you saw the crowd reactions, but it didn't. I think in this battle, you didn't hear the crowd as much because people thought that the crowd was dead. It wasn't dead. It's just focused more on what was on stage.
Okay.
But you definitely saw reactions on both sides.
All right, bet.
Now, round 3 is the round of the hits.
Okay, I got you. And I never liked Project, bitch, but
you didn't like Project Chick? What?
I never liked that. I never liked that
song. You even know Free Code?
It was the biggest record because, mind you, I was living in Baltimore circa this time.
Okay.
And it was on the radio. It was on 92Q. My girlfriend liked it. I was like, turn that stuff off. But it was probably the bigger hit. I don't really remember Free Codes like that. I'm going to have to go back and listen. But I'll give it to Project Bitch too, I guess.
I'll give you a little lesson. Future redid Free Codes, I think, on Dirty Sprite too. A lot of people didn't know that. The hook he did was actually a flip of TRU Free Codes featuring Mia X. That's why they only did her verse for this battle, because of course that was the rebuttal to I Need a Project Chick. And Juvenile did some crazy shit at the end. He extended the hook. Yeah. Round 4. Do you remember this song, Rich Niggas by Juvenile? I think featuring
I remember that. Yeah.
And some of the Hot Boys were on there.
Yeah.
Versus Young Bleed, How You Do That there?
Oh, I love that song. I remember that song. Oh my God, that song is a banger. Yeah, How You Do That there? I remember that video, man. Well, I mean, I'm definitely dating myself, but yeah, I remember that video and everything, man. Yeah, I would say that. And the Rich Niggas I heard recently, you know what I mean? But I would say I would agree with you on that.
Now you notice so far they're using 2 songs from 400 Degrees and the song from, I think that came from Baller Blocking soundtrack, Project Chick.
Yeah.
And then he just happened to play Still 5 Seconds because that's Mandy and Baby.
Yeah.
Round 5 is actually one of my favorite rounds of this battle. BG, Cash Money is an Army versus Master P, Bourbons and Lax. That's the last song off Ghetto D. I didn't expect him to play this. I thought he would have played Ghetto D, where he redid the Rakim.
Yeah.
Song. But yeah, don't get me wrong, Bourbons and Lax is dope, but BG clearly. To me, BG is kind of a cheat code in this battle because he had some of the early hits between 98 and 2000. Wayne really blew up 2000. So most really consider Wayne more of a 2000s rapper, even though
I agree with that.
Turned him in 98 and 99 through Juvenile and BG.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Low key, BG is one of my favorite down south rappers, man. I fuck with BG before I fuck with Lil Wayne. I'll be honest with you. Like, he was the only guy that can, when they were in their prime. I would say Cash Money's prime was what? 98 to about 2001, 2002, you want to say? That was the kind of their run. I was a BG guy, so I got to give you Cash Money is an Army, definitely on that one.
You remember that song BG did with Prodigy?
Oh yeah, I remember that. That was one of my HNIC is one of my favorite albums.
Matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, I think the Violator album, there was one song that had BG and someone else, and another song that had Cormega and Wayne. Remember that?
Yeah, yeah.
The next round is really you could say the best round of the battle just because of the type of hits they were. Juvenile, Slow Motion, Rest in Peace, Soldier Slim versus Mercedes, Mac, I Can Tell.
Yeah.
Now, most people outside of the South right? Probably pick Slow Motion, but the South, I wouldn't be surprised most people in the South pick I Can Tell. Because that song still be low key playing in the club still down here.
Slow Motion is fire.
Oh yeah, Slow Motion is fire.
Slow Motion is fire. I gotta give you that. I gotta remember. I gotta go back and play I Can't Tell, but I remember the Mercedes album.
I can tell you, I just want to.
Oh, that was it.
And you ain't got to pay your booty. That joint.
Now, you know what? Ooh. I got to think about that. I got to think about that one.
And Mercedes had an issue because she didn't perform, but Mac did put out a response saying that she didn't sign no contract to get into Versus.
Yeah, I want to get to that. We're going to get to that later because there were a lot of missteps by Versus. I would say also Cash Money on this. Yeah. But people didn't have their ducks in order for this one. I just gotta say that she should have been there to perform that. But I guess I could see that because I Can Tell is a better. I probably fuck with that song more. But since Juvie was there, I maybe giving it to Slow Motion. Maybe about that. I could see it going either way. I'll just say that.
The next round, BG, Hot Boys, Manny Fresh, Big Timers, Bling Bling versus Mystical and Silk the Shocker. It Ain't My Fault. They kind of blended both versions together, and Silk the Shocker just did his verse, but it sounded like Silk did his verse from the remix on the regular beat.
Okay.
But they also did that Did I Do That. That was in the remix. The regular version didn't have the Did I Do That. But they had the crowd saying Did I Do That, though. That's probably the loudest I heard the crowd so far in this battle.
Oh, all right.
But
Bling Bling was a big hit. Yeah. But I don't know. It Ain't My Fault. That's a pretty even battle as far as club banger. Well, I guess Bling's the bigger hit. So, all right. But It Ain't My Fault, man.
Beat-wise, to me, this is one of Manny Fresh's best beats. He sounded like a down south RZA, but he had motherfuckers talk about jewelry. Like down south Bobby Digital type.
Oh yeah. That was one of Manny Fresh better beats. I think It Ain't My Fault, man. When I was in Baltimore, that was one of the biggest songs in the club. Oh my God. Oh man, the floor was packed in the club.
Yo, the video, the version of me and D Double, Mystical versus Juvenile. I said some shit like, I'm about to say some shit that'll make you mad, Dub, because I know he likes Boosie. I said I'll put Silk the Shocker over Boosie for the fact that he made this song. And you hear that Ain't My Fault in the background. I'm just sitting here like, it ain't my fault.
I know he didn't like that one. Oh, gee. Now Set It Off versus Mr. Ice Cream Man. Mr. Ice Cream Man is classic to me, man. I remember teenagers rocking that joint. Oh my God, that song's fire.
Set It Off is dope too, but yeah, I definitely give that to Mr. Ice Cream Man.
And then anything next to number one Stunner versus Bout It. What was Cash?
Now this was probably the round of the battle if you saw the video, because this was when Birdman was saying, I started all this stunning, all this jewelry in your mouth. They played number one Stunner. Now I found out there's an original version of the playlist. Bout It was originally supposed to be the last song of the battle, but that's when Master P rebuttal was like, yeah, you said you started all that stunning, but I was in Calio Projects and I started this, and Bout It came on.
Okay. So they changed
the original Bout It, and that's when it's like, okay, like I said, fuck the performance, let's get the whole crowd going.
Yo, Bout It is one of the hardest songs from down south. One of the hardest. That's an anthem, yo. That's a street anthem. That's one of the hardest street records. You know what I mean? I mean, come on. And then Get Your Roll On by no. Get Your Roll On. I never liked that song.
Get Your Roll On versus Make Them Say
Yeah. Make Them Say all the way.
You said all the way with that? Yeah, Mystical. Yeah.
It's
crazy because ain't Mystical locked up right now? He probably has some of the best verses. In this guy. He locked up right now. We got to talk about
he caught a weird case. So I Need a Hot Girl versus Chopper Style.
I never liked Chopper Style.
Yeah.
But my roommate said that this body, I Need a Hot Girl. We got into an argument over that.
I'll give it to Cash Money. They gotta win some rounds
Yeah,
here.
this was like the only round me and my friend got into an argument over that round.
Yeah,
Really picked
yeah.
Chopper's. But
Now,
yeah, I
now
got
I don't understand this. First of all, they Wayne's not there. They chose a Millie, but I don't even see a Millie as part of Cash Money Millionaires. That's
You
more
gotta include that
YCB.
though. You gotta include that. But before we get to a Millie, look at how many songs had Lil Wayne so far. Project
Mhm,
Bitch had Wayne.
mhm.
Rich Niggas had Wayne.
Bling bling.
Bling Bling got Wayne.
Mhm.
The number one stunner, Wayne. I need
But
a
I
high
mean,
road,
on some of
Wayne.
those songs, Wayne wasn't like the showcase of that.
But he was still in the song.
He was in the song, but I mean, you could get away with some of those. Now, a Millie, that's his solo joint. I would have given more respect if they did The Block Is Hot or even Go DJ. And me, I don't for Down for My Niggas.
I
Down for
just
My
don't
Niggas
think
is
a
an
lot of people.
anthem, bro.
Honestly, I think this was the round a lot of young people forgot because a lot of people feel like you could beat Wayne can beat No Limit by itself, but to me, this round proved that he couldn't because a Millie may be his best song lyrically,
Well, I got something to say about a Millie because a Millie is one of the greatest rap songs of all time. You
but
know,
it's also going against Snoop
yeah,
and
yeah, 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 yeah.
Down
Now,
for
now
My Niggas.
down for my
It's
niggas.
arguably No Limit's best
I'll
song
explain to you.
outside of the group shit.
All right, I'm gonna explain to you why a Millie lost that battle when we talk about Wayne, because we
Okay,
really got to talk about Little Wayne
and
because
I
we got
think
a
I know
lot.
where you're going, so we'll save that.
Yeah, we got to
I'm
speak
gonna
on
tell
it.
you, we're gonna talk about this battle some more because I'm gonna tell you why Down for My Niggas was like a slick move for P
Mhm.
because this battle was supposed to be, if I'm not mistaken, 13 rounds. People
Yeah,
wanted this to be 20. BG said initially they were told 10. They were paid for 10 rounds, but they gave versus 20 rounds. So I
yeah,
think they negotiated to 13 to 14. I think it was 13 to 14 rounds. So
yeah,
for um No Limit to play Down for My Niggas and have Snoop out there the whole song, doing parts of the first two verses and ended it with Snoop, and pretty much him and Master P walked out the stage. It was like on some fuck y'all, we won the battle. Y'all can have Back That Ass Up. And that's how Back That Ass Up
yeah,
played ended. But the reason why it was like that was because Manny Fresh came out and said, yo, they said we got a few minutes left. Because keep in mind, Clips was performing out after this. So they were going past time and they started late. So they
okay,
played only the first verse of a Millie, but they played the whole song to Down for My Niggas because Snoop pretty much was out there the whole song.
yeah. I mean,
Genius move.
yeah, that's kind of a weird way to end it. I mean, by looking at this, I would say at most it's probably 8-6. You know, No Limit 8-7 or
Well, keep in
so.
mind, it's 13 rounds.
Yeah, yeah.
If
So
Back the Ass Up was round 13, technically it's 13 rounds.
yeah, yeah. But I mean, a lot of people are saying that. A lot of people are saying that Cash Money One is going away. I mean, you have it pretty much as a going away. I'm hearing Mia X tore it up.
Yeah, Mia
They
X
had a
was
better
featured on Kill
performance.
the Soldiers, Free Codes, Make Them Say Bout It, Bout It. She did her
Yeah,
verse. And another thing that No Limit did was they played at least 3 songs in its entirety. Sort of like how the Locks did in the beginning before they started just
yeah,
throwing songs out there. So they kind of stretched out the time, but I think they meant to do that on purpose because they was like, forget who's the better rapper. We just gonna get the crowd crunk. Like
but
that was
but, uh,
their whole
but
angle.
from what I see, man, there's a lot of missteps. First of all, I think Cash Money kind of fucked the bag up. Like you didn't play high, you didn't play no DJ, you didn't play. I mean, well, or go DJ. They didn't play Block Is Hot. Well, obviously that's the Wayne thing. You know what I mean? But if you're gonna play a Millie, you know, and he's not there, why not? I guess they wanted to get one Wayne solo in there. Songs should have been longer. You know what I mean? Well, the rounds should have been longer. They could have went more rounds. Now, No Limit left some songs off the table too.
Yeah.
Now,
did you see the original lineup that I sent you? From the original lineup, Cash Money played everything in order up to they actually skipped
about it, right?
No, after they played in a Millie, How was supposed to be next. But because they had to cut the time short, they played Back That Ass Up last.
Yeah.
So that's why they didn't play High.
Okay.
No Limit actually played everything in order up until they started switching songs when Cash Money started putting out big songs. The only two songs they didn't play from here was Hootie Hoo. That would have been ill if Hootie Hoo when it gets back.
That's another
that would have been ill.
Yeah.
And theme song Mr. Womp Womp. If you're a No Limit fan, you know
that.
That's
another. I know
really didn't have to play that song.
Yeah. I know Mr. Womp Womp. Like yeah, but only 10 songs. Well, only 13 rounds instead of 20.
They didn't play Ghetto D. To me, they should have played Ghetto D, Bourbons and Laps.
I think. First of all, I think Versus. I kind of blame Versus because I think they kind of rushed this to get this back on the Versus stage. Okay. They should have took their time with this. I think they tried too much to tie into Complex Con because it's a big convention. Clips are performing. It's kind of like going to be a hip hop hotspot. But if I were them, I would have took their time for this. I would have put it in Smoothie King Arena in New Orleans. I think it's still called Smoothie King Arena anyway. And I would have had it in New Orleans, and I would have done the full 20 songs. You know what I mean? A real battle.
For a check because it was at Complex Con. So they probably did it for a check. You got to think about that as well. Because keep in mind, Birdman initially, if I'm not mistaken, BG said that Birdman didn't want to do this. He just heard about the offer for Complex Con. BG was down. Now, as far as why Turk and Lil Wayne didn't show up, because we can't just say Lil Wayne, we got to say Turk.
Let's talk about Turk.
Had issues with Cash Money during this Lil Louisiana tour. Apparently, he wasn't paid right. Now, as far as Wayne, of course, most people think because they heard in the past, if all the Hot Boys ain't there, he ain't gonna perform with the Hot Boys. But it might be a different reason. But that's yet to be disclosed. One of the people from Cash Money's gave a theory, but of course, that's only a theory that's not accurate. But that definitely is going to be a topic this year because this ain't been a great year for Wayne, man.
Before we get to Wayne, I think Cash Money and Baby dropped the ball. I get the sense Baby tried to play it like he was bigger than Cash Money. I think I get the vibe. And now that you mentioned there was a money issue, he wanted to get paid more or whatever. I definitely think Baby thought he was bigger than this actually was and wasn't giving P and them the respect they should, because I think No Limit caught them with their pants down, man. Cash Money really, let's be honest. If we had to say going into this, all things being even, I would say that, Cash Money would have been maybe a 5.5 point favorite going into this thing. You know what I mean? But I mean, that's with Wayne, with Turk, with all of that, right? But because they played kind of down, Juvie kind of carried them, and No Limit kind of came with their A performance game. No Limit really came with an upset here.
Is it really an upset though? Because the majority of No Limit, especially what they played, was the 90s era.
Yeah, that's true.
Cash Money was 99 to 2000.
Or early, well, I'd say 99 to 2000.
No Limit is still part of the 90s golden era.
Yeah, that's true.
Even though they had some shit in the 2000s. Where Snoop came in between that time too, just like Cash Money did.
Yeah.
Like, let's not act like No Limit Soldiers was like mid-90s shit.
But I think if it stood the test of time, even though No Limit, like me, I like No Limit better than Cash Money. But as far as impact is concerned,
Now you can say Cash Money for that because Cash Money still exists as a label with NBA. They now working with NBA YoungBoy.
Not even that.
Artists that
Not
they used
even
to work with is putting out music still.
not even the NBA YoungBoy angle, but the fact that they had a stronghold on hip hop, like recently, you know, in the early 2000s or what have you, and of course you got the Wayne factor, which we're going to get to now finally. But you had the Wayne factor. You know what I mean? Like many people going into this was laughing at Cash Money, and I said it's not. Listen, we're not laughing at Cash Money, laughing at No Limit. But I said, look, I mean, No Limit got some bangers now. This ain't gonna be no Dipset versus the Locks here, right? But I would say, like, Cash Money was a small favorite if they played their cards right. But it doesn't look like they really did that. And I kind of blame Versus for not, you know, organizing this well. I would have had it in New Orleans. Like some of the songs without the rappers were kind of different. I just don't think it was set up right. You know what I mean? And I don't think Cash Money came with their A game. So that's why I would say, but No Limit, really, they deserve their kudos because they put on a show. And I would have to give it to them.
Now, one trend I'm noticing, you to a certain extent, but I wouldn't say 100% you because you recognize both. But the people that were disappointed in this battle wanted Cash Money to win.
Okay.
And I think the main reason is because people are saying Cash Money exists today, so they can use anything to beat No Limit. But it's almost like saying, let me see. I'm trying to think of a group in the 90s that really didn't remain relevant in the 2000s, but they still existed. But if someone was out today and you was to say they're automatically over that group, are they really because they still exist, or is that group back then still have better music?
All right, well, use Bone Thugs as an example.
Okay, so let's use. Okay, perfect. Let's say Bone Thugs versus. I'm still trying to think. I mean, even if we say Juicy J.
Yeah.
Because one debate is Bone Thugs and Harmony or 3-6 Mafia. That's a very debatable battle group wise as well, too. And that battle was pretty debatable, too. I actually gave it a tie.
Yeah.
Juicy J right now is still making music to this day. He just made an album with Logic. So he's still doing something relevant.
Yeah.
But are you going to say that 3-6 Mafia is going to kill Bone because Bone ain't doing nothing today? Or is all of 3-6 Mafia music that much over Bone? Me personally, I like 3-6 Mafia more than Bone, but I know plenty of people that still like Bone more than 3-6 and even had Bone winning that battle.
It's the recency bias deal, you know. So of course you're gonna say that, but the thing about it is that, you know, like to me, I always look at Versus as it's the moment. It's that moment. So your performance energy, your song selection strategy are the keys right there. That's how the Locks smoked Dipset, where it should have been closer. But it just seemed like all three of those things were in the Locks corner, and it just looked like they just walked off, and Dipset didn't even belong on the same stage, you know?
I do find it interesting. Some people told me if you just played the music, Dipset versus Locks would be closer, even though I still got Locks winning.
Yeah, if you just played the songs, it would have been closer. But the way the Locks just came out, and that's like a master class in how you do a versus. You know what I mean?
This battle was more about the music than the performance. Because, I mean, I didn't expect No Limit to play Free Codes, but they played Mia X's verse as a reply to Project Bitch. That's what made it smart.
Okay.
So some people like, yo, I remember that song as a rebuttal. And she said something at the end too. When you watch the video after this, I'll send you the link. You'll
I
see
gotta
the
check out. I gotta check out more of these performances. I definitely gotta check that. So I'll look up her performance. But
yeah.
anyway,
Now, if you're not familiar with the music and you were younger, you're gonna
yeah,
clearly say Cash Money won. Like I made a poll for a Millie versus Down for My Niggas. Down for My Niggas is clearly winning, but I noticed that some of the younger people, it's like people know A Millie word for word.
yeah.
A
But
Millie
see,
just
those younger kids, they probably didn't even watch this. They just go with because it's Wayne and the identifier, you know.
yeah, that's why I judge by the better
But
song. Even at that, more
yeah,
people had C Murder clearly winning.
that's interesting. That's interesting. But speaking of Wayne, Lil Wayne was obviously the most notable no-show of this, you know. Now, I'm gonna go to what you spoke on, some of the rumors that he said, well, if everybody's not gonna be there, I'm gonna be there. I don't see confirmation on that, on him really saying that. They said there was a money issue from the previous tour, and that's the thing, they were just on tour together. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I
Same
think
time,
that's more Turk than Wayne. The money.
yeah. So I didn't see Wayne come out verbally and vouch for Turk. I didn't see the facts on that. But
Well,
I
you
also
definitely
heard that
see-
Wayne had a performance in the same city that night in Vegas. I guess it's associated with Carter 6. I don't know. He didn't even show up.
Wait. I didn't know this. He had a performance that same night.
Yeah, he was booked for a club that weekend. And from what I understand, he didn't show up for that.
He definitely got an issue with Baby if that's the case.
Yeah.
Got an issue with Baby.
But see, this is my whole thing. You just went on tour with all of them. So I mean, what's it gonna be here? Because why would you go on the Hot Boys reunion tour and now you got an issue with him? Look, they had issues and I could do a whole show on Baby. I think Baby is by far the most corrupt, worst mogul in hip hop history. Yes, and I will put him over Diddy. I will pull it up and verify that as to why he's worse. You know, he don't pay his artists. He don't. Well, he basically rapes his artist. You know, excuse me for using that language, but you know what I mean. He basically steals money from his artists. He don't pay for features, and I mean, let's be honest. He had Lil Wayne set up. He shot up his tour bus during that whole Young Thug situation.
NBA YoungBoy,
huh?
And now he working with NBA YoungBoy.
Yeah.
Did you hear about the end of the show where he basically dissed Turk?
I heard that, man. And that's such a weak move for somebody that made you so much money in the past and made you to who you are, the mogul today, to disrespect him like that.
But Turk did say some shit before then, saying that he wasn't going to come to perform anyway. He did let it be known that he wasn't.
But then Turk said,
maybe I might have influenced Wayne Reason.
But then Turk said he wasn't invited. So what's it going to be?
That could be there too.
Yeah. What was it going to be? So, but back to Wayne, and let's keep it all the way 100 here. Lil Wayne's been on record as saying nobody can beat him in the verses. He would take out Jay-Z, Kanye West, whoever. You came in this year begging, and I mean begging to get on the Super Bowl stage, okay? Somehow, some way. You had people supporting you, having a whole movement behind you to get on the Super Bowl stage. Meanwhile, you're doing performances, forgetting lines, slurring words, you know, falling down, doing all kinds of crazy shit. Not worth even a real concert ticket, you know. Then you put out the dud of a Carter 6 album, which has to be the worst, maybe the worst comeback album of a series for a GOAT level artist. And you know, this was a moment for you, bro. Like, this was a moment for hip hop. You know what I mean? This was a moment that people could get back with Wayne. And listen, if Wayne was there and he came out for a couple songs, he would have easily stole the show. And if he came with his A game, there's no way Cash Money doesn't walk away with this. You know what I mean? So to me, I mean, did Wayne let down hip hop? Did Wayne let down, you know, all of the fans, Complex Con, And did he let down Cash Money fans? Because this is the biggest letdown to me, man. If you ask me.
To me, the biggest letdown is his album. Clearly,
I get that.
His album. Swish, swish, swish. No. I can understand what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Me personally, even if he was there to perform a Millie, I'm not putting that over down for my niggas. I had a conversation with somebody, and they said that, can you see a Jay-Z or a Nas song losing it down for my niggas? Jay-Z, yes. Maybe because I'm biased to Nas, no. But then, yeah, you play any song from Hip Hop Is Dead, I'm definitely putting down for my niggas over that. But a Millie is arguably Wayne's most lyrical single. And maybe it was because of the way it was performed, but to me, it didn't make a difference because Down for My Niggas is that classic, bro. And maybe it's because I'm from down here. Down for My Niggas
You know
is that
what? I don't even know if for Down for My Niggas, if that's the Wayne song to put up against that. Like,
imagine Down for My Niggas versus Back That Ass Up. That would be the round of the century, bro.
Nah, that could have been, that's more that, because though that's an anthem. I don't even know if this space was really a lyrical type space. But see, that doesn't mean Wayne can't walk away with shit, because he still's got The Block Is Hot. He still got Go DJ is still lyrical, but it's not like a million lyrical. You know what I mean? I would have gone with those records, and he could have won with that.
And see, if Wayne was here, you would have seen him did the verse to Project Bitch.
Exactly.
The bling bling, the hook, the number one stunner.
But the thing about it is that was, I'll be honest with you. Wayne before Go DJ, I think was kind of corny to me. Like I never really fuck with Wayne till Go DJ drop. But to be honest with you,
you didn't even like Mixtape Wayne?
Mixtape Wayne was after that.
I mean, okay. You didn't
Mixtape Wayne was like 04, 05, 06. Yeah.
Squad Up Mixtape Wayne. You didn't like that Wayne?
No.
Okay.
Even though what was his second album? Whatever the one, The Block Is Hot. I re-listened to that.
Lights Out was dope. To me, Lights Out is better than The Block.
I re-listened to that recently. That's an underrated album. That's pretty good.
Now the next album is trash. 500 Degrees. For the fact you called it 500 Degrees.
Yeah.
Trash.
But I'm gonna be honest with you, man. You know, politics or not, Wayne, dog, you fucked it up, dog. Like you, I mean, this has to be.
At the end of the day, you're right.
If taking an L for 2025 had a face, it's Lil Wayne, bro. After all the shit you talked, after you pissed and moaned and cried on camera, oh, they didn't pick me for the Super Bowl. With all of this sympathy bullshit, bro, you don't deserve that shit, bro.
And this goes back to your Young Money thing. Nicki, Wayne, Drake.
Downfall of Young Money. Downfall of Young Money, man. I mean, it's almost an epic downfall in 1 year.
Matter of fact, Nicki Minaj just put out some weird audio talking shit about some female without makeup. Talking crazy.
Let's not even. We could have a whole 3-hour podcast on her Twitter life.
I don't want to. Never mind.
That girl is weird as fuck, bro.
Bruh, I don't even like her voice. I just like her look. Like Nicki Minaj just made the look at, not the tear. You know what I'm saying?
What, man? But just on a side note, all those BBLs post 40 ain't gonna look too good. Just to let you know. I mean,
saying her shit though. I will say that, but still, it's still.
I mean, I don't know, man. Nicki, nah, that's a whole other subject. But Wayne, I gotta say, this was the L, man. Like, this could have been a moment you came back and you kind of got people. The talk would have started up again. Like, damn, what if Wayne was at that Super Bowl? Because did you see that Versus? Like, that's the kind of moment, because Versus is about moments, and Wayne could have owned the moment, and then the talk would have started up again, because he's got a brand fan base.
Yeah, Juvie was like the moment for Cash Money until that number one stunner bout it round.
Yeah, I would say that. I mean, Juvie's a legend in his own right, and he did his thing to
But
keep his team.
Mia X may have been the best
But
performer.
me and X had a better performance. But see, if Wayne would have came there and brought his A game, that would have been the
Would have
talk.
been over Mia X. But
That would have been the talk over Mia
his
X. If
crown.
Wayne came out, that would definitely be the talk over Mia X.
But you know who definitely stood his ground in this battle? P.
Okay, yeah,
Master P.
you're
Because
right.
a lot of people talking shit about Master P when they saw some other performance of him doing, make him say, he was rapping like all horse and shit. But nah, he did his thing this battle.
Which kind of begs the question now, because P, and I don't know when the last time he picked up a mic, because he's Mr. Businessman mogul now.
Yeah.
But that begs the question now, if this mogul's doing it, Jay-Z, where you at? You know what I mean? It's about that time, Jay. You give us something. You
It
know what I
only
mean?
makes sense to do Jay-Z versus Nas. I don't know why people saying Jay-Z can beat anybody when you and Maurice did just make a point about Kanye. Like, it only makes sense to do Jay-Z versus Nas.
If we're gonna talk the next verses, you know what I mean? Actually let me make a banner for that. Next verses.
But just imagine how good this Nas DJ Premier album happens. And then also we hear a Jay album out of nowhere next year.
Well, I put it to you like this. Now that Versus is back on, I think this is more of a thing for the legacy acts. And I think it's a good thing for the legacy acts too. That's why I thought this was a blown opportunity for Wayne. But I mean, I put it to you like this. I definitely would want to see Kanye versus somebody. I think Kanye is the ultimate cheat code when it comes to this. You know what I mean? He's the hardest one to beat because he could use anything from all of Pusha T's hardest shit to the Rockefeller run to all of these bangers he did.
It'd be crazy if he did his own verses like D'Angelo, but the difference he did Kanye the rapper versus Kanye the producer, that would be fucking crazy.
I think he's unstoppable, man.
Like, that would make everybody be like, okay.
But the thing about it is, Jay, it would be good for hip hop, but I think Jay would probably big time it. Jay, the only performance Jay would do is if he came out for the Super Bowl. I think now, I really do.
But here's one reason I won't be surprised if Jay does do a versus, but it only makes sense versus Nas. Is because Swiss Beats and Timbaland both worked with Nas and Jay before.
I'll tell you what I wouldn't mind seeing. I wouldn't mind seeing a down south joint with maybe Ludacris versus Jadakiss. That would be good. You know what I mean? ATL versus New York.
Round 3, Jadakiss versus someone from the South. Or
I'd like to see that.
Oh, what about? Yeah, you could say Jadakiss versus Luda, or Jadakiss versus Jeezy, or Jadakiss versus
Jeezy is a good one. Jadakiss versus Jeezy is a very good one. Oh yes, we gotta have that. Those are two of my favorite rappers. I would say
Jeezy and Jada.
I would say I'll put it to you like this. Another one that I'll get to Scarface in a minute, but Jeezy is probably my favorite pound for pound down south rapper.
You just said Scarface though.
Scarface, see, it's between him and Scarface, but I just feel Jeezy's music more. I mean, the energy behind and he's a basic lyricist, but boy, do you feel you want to talk about anthems. Oh my God, man.
If you want to know my favorite Southern artists, Fonte from Little Brother, both of Outkast, Andre and Big Boy, Scarface are like the top 4. And
here's a left field versus for you. Now, it's probably going to be more framed as Outkast versus the East Coast. But why not Nas versus Andre 3000?
Nah, that wouldn't make sense to me. But I can understand why you say that because of the way they rap. But it only makes sense to do.
But here's the thing: all the Outkast music is obviously on the table.
Like Andre 3000, you have to go against someone that was part of a group also, and they do their solo shit. Like he would have to match on like that type of level.
See, here's my thing. I don't look at the group thing like other people look at it. Like,
yeah,
I look at it like I look at it like if you're part of a group and you owned those verses, I mean, that's your shit. You know what I mean? Like if you know, well, I mean, a good one would be I like Andre 3000 versus like a Ghostface or something like that.
Like to me, Andre 3000 versus Common makes more sense.
But yeah, I think Andre's going to win that. I'll be honest with you. Yeah, cause Dre 3000 got some bangers and some notable songs. Like, yeah, I think so, and not by much. Cause I like Common too. Common is probably my favorite Chicago rapper, but I could see that. But I could see Dre 3000 versus Common.
What about Redman?
Huh.
Oh, you know what make more sense? Redman versus Luda.
I'll give that to Luda.
You say give that to Luda?
Yeah. But that would be a good battle. But I put it to you like this: who would go against Busta Rhymes? I think that's
the
interesting
Busta Rhymes
battle.
Anybody because he's that versatile.
Busta Rhymes has shit that goes damn near 40 years. You know what I mean? 35 years. I mean, what do you come out? 90, 91?
Remember, at one point, there was a rumor of Busta Rhymes versus T.I., but T.I. was like, if you're going to do it against me, you have to start with your music from this year. But then it was Missy versus Busta when it comes to the music videos. And then it was Busta versus Eminem. And then it was Busta versus this. Like, Busta can really go against almost anybody.
Busta would beat T.I., I think. Busta is too deep. And he's got too much energy. He's got too many bangers and anthems. Now, T.I. had his run, but I mean, but I wouldn't mind seeing a all ATL joint like a T.I. versus Jeezy. You know what I mean? Or T.I. versus Wayne. Wayne got that. No, Wayne got that.
Now, who do you think will win between T.I. versus Scarface?
Oh man, T.I.'s got too many anthems. I mean, I think Scarface is the much better rapper, but I think T.I. would win in the verses. That's the thing.
Because you can make that on some old school versus new school, but both from the Kings type of shit.
Yeah.
Because the thing was, Scarface never called himself the King of the South. Other people did.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I mean, but I mean, there are a lot of good matchups. But I hope that, because I think this is a big year overall for legacy hip hop, and I think this is a great way to bring that legacy energy back to the vets. And listen, it's going to help out, you know, their catalogs. People are going to revisit, like people are going to go back and listen to No Limit now.
Oh, they're definitely revisit No Limit right now.
Yeah, you know, and matter of fact,
90 era niggas make a difference. The Slip Ricks, because I mean, you got to include the No Limit, the Slip Ricks.
Exactly.
For this Big L to come out.
So yeah, and that comes out this weekend, so that's going to be interesting.
Like this, like remember this when I showed you this? This is the brand that Master P is doing.
Yeah, I see that, man.
Music because they're doing this.
Snoop cereal, yeah, man. But yeah, somebody said Ice Cube versus Scarface, but I think Cube. But I mean, you're looking at it from the lyrical perspective, from the verses perspective, and the banger perspective. I think Cube would take that.
That's I don't know, man. Because even though Ice Cube got that 3
I
albums,
want to let you know right now. Okay, I got.
Scarface arguably has no bad albums. He may have one bad album.
I'm gonna tell you right now. The West Coast artists are going to be the hardest artists to take out because their crowd is going to be so loyal to them. It's not even going to be funny. I got one for you. You know who T.I. should go against?
Oh.
And people might say something about this because I know people don't like him. But The Game versus T.I. would be a good versus.
That would be a good battle. Some people may not like it, but that would be a good battle.
But the thing is, like, the West Coast artists, they're going to be hard, man. Like Snoop, even when Snoop went against DMX before his untimely passing, that was a nip and tuck joint.
I had Snoop winning, but not by much. That actually was a close battle.
Yeah, very close.
That was
very
a
close
battle. That might be like the second best verses that had no crowd.
Yeah, because that was all during COVID.
And they both was rapping each other's shit too. That was crazy. How you saw Snoop react to "What's My Name," and then you see it DMX rapping the whole verse. The bitches ain't shit.
Yeah. The West Coast artists are gonna be hard, man. Like Ice Cube against anybody. I think Ice Cubes need to get into that. I want to see Ice Cube back out rapping again. That would be good.
He put out 2 albums this year.
I heard the one before.
I heard the first one he put out this year was not that good.
The one last year. I heard the last one last year.
It was last year.
Yeah.
That was last year, but he put out another one this year that was saying is way better than the from last year.
I want to hear. Yeah, I do want to hear Ice Cube on that versus stage. We need to get him out there. I put it to you like this, man. I got the one for you. Ice Cube versus Nas. That would be very interesting.
That would be interesting. That definitely would be interesting.
The West Coast versus East Coast right there. Oh, yeah. That's the next one we got to have. Definitely. Ice Cube versus Nas. That's perfect.
Day versus It Ain't Hard to Tell. Like 2 songs with no hooks, just the loops. Yo, that would be crazy.
Oh, yeah. That would be great.
I might actually make a poll out of that. Today was a good day versus It Ain't Hard to Tell. That's actually
that would be, oh, yes. Yes, definitely. I mean, I think Nas in the end would win because Nas goes so deep. He goes into the 2020s. He could pull out stuff. But we got to get 20 songs out of those guys. And really,
you can definitely get 20 songs out of Cube.
Oh, 20 songs out of both of them.
I don't even think that's an album hit.
That would be a great versus Nas versus Ice Cube. I'd definitely like to see that. But yeah, man. Thanks for joining me again tonight, Ansem. Shout out one more time, BLG Bootleg Gang. You know, I know you got a lot going on.
I've been doing all right lately. Shout out to Funeral Man, aka Funeral God. I saw your battle versus Dead. Don't battle. But I won't be surprised if D-Double can beat you bar for bar.
Oh.
Even though me and him is on some bullshit right now and I blocked him, I won't be surprised if D-Double can beat you bar for bar, bro. Still much respect. Dope battle. Shoot, 750. Angry Fan Movement. What up? Oh, have you heard Cassidy is going to battle Easy the Block Captain?
I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that. I haven't heard Cassidy's battles of late since he got embarrassed a few years back, but
you never saw him versus Hitman Holla?
I heard about it, but I didn't see it, no.
Yeah, that was his last battle. He was supposed to battle John the Don last year. That didn't happen. So we're going to see this Cassidy versus Easy the Block Captain battle actually happen. This is going to be in Philadelphia.
Okay. Yeah, but so definitely, yeah, so and anyway, check out Hip Hop Roundtable Reviews. We're going to have some new content coming out. We got a lot of juicy topics to talk about. And soon we're going to have that debate with Reese. We got to talk about GNX versus Let God Sort Them Out. I'm definitely setting that up.
You did say that.
We definitely got to set that up. And We also got to update, our best top hip hop projects. We got Big L coming out on the Mass Appeal series. Who else we got coming out? I know Ransom's coming out with DJ Premier. So there are going to be some new reviews. Stay tuned for that. And I still got to get to a few. I still got to get to Dave East and the other ones. So stay tuned for some new reviews. But anyway, thanks for joining us tonight. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Hip Hop Roundtable Reviews and BLG, aka Bootleg Gang. Jeff,
one more thing. Shout out to Don Tripp. I slept on you. I slept on Don Tripp.
Okay.
I remember back in the days I had the Don Tripp and Starlito albums. They were okay, but Don Tripp put out a lot of albums lately. Dude from I think he's from Memphis, if I'm not mistaken. He dope.
I remember that name.
Check out Don Tripp's latest stuff. He been spitting lately.
Got to check that out, definitely. Yeah. So with that, we will be back with some content, coming up. And y'all have a good night. All right. Peace.
Peace.